It's a story that began well before dawn in the middle of the lagoon. Huddled one against another, gathered as if they had slept together, primitive wooden boats. And men who dive, dive, and dive again. Below the water, sand. Nothing but sand with which they must fill these boats. It's the work of several hours and of holding your breath several hundred, even thousands of times, with no equipment and with the objective of survival. Like Francis, who arrived from Benin several years ago.
Down there, there's sand. You put this bucket in it, and the sand goes in. The current puts the sand in it. It's the current that puts the sand inside. That's it. You see? Look. Look. You see? It's the current that puts the sand into the bucket. Down there. You see?
And how deep is it here?
Here, it's 2 meters deep.
How much time does it take to fill the boat?
If all goes well, 4 hours at this rate. 4 hours like this before it's finished.
C'est très difficile.
It's very difficult.
Très difficile.
Very, very difficult.
C'est très difficile.
It's very difficult.
Why? Because of the breathing? How many times do you dive to fill up the boat? How many times must you dive?
How many? 300. 300.
C'est 300.
I'm telling you the truth.
J'ai dit la vérité. 300.
300.
300.
And it's the same every day. In the middle of the lagoon in Lagos, capital of Nigeria, hundreds of boats are at anchor, waiting to be filled like goat skins by naked men who scratch away at the seabed. One episode of many in the immemorial story of men at work. These men are 17, 25, sometimes only 12 or 13. They come from the four corners of Nigeria and the neighboring countries, and they won't make old bones. At depth, the water is cold, and nobody can endure it for long. Every morning, a woman comes by in her canoe, selling a hot meal for a few coins. A Mami Wata, who watches over them.
If you arrive with nothing, and you see us diving, you might think, look, it's a job. I could maybe make some money doing that. But you know, it's not a job. It's like punishment on earth. Okay, can I get on now?
After 6 or 7 hours' work, the boat is filled to the gunwales, and it's time to return to the village. They hoist the sail. A big and beautiful sail, square, made from rice sacks sewn together. They hope there's plenty of wind so they can get some rest on the return trip. A sail and boats that you wonder, are they real? They appear to come from furthest antiquity, from man's first moments on the water. It's a story that is as beautiful and cruel as a myth. But that's how we see it. After a night of snatching sand from the bottom of the sea, the sailors aren't watching each other or admiring each other's seamanship. They just want to get home.
When you spend 2 or 3 hours like this, 2 or 3 hours like this in the evening before you get home.
And when the wind isn't strong, what happens? Do you wait?
When the wind isn't strong, you can say it'll take you 4 hours. 4 hours sailing before you get home. And you're tired. I'm giving up.
You're giving up?
I'm looking for a different job now. I've had enough of this job.
But why?
Because I've got nothing. It's too hard. It's just too hard.
And today the wind is weak, and the men take a long time to get back. When the wind is strong, the sails can rip. Wind or no wind, it's always hard for the labourers. And when the boats finally approach the shore, there's a bridge that bars their way. A bridge that crosses the entire lagoon, as if right out of the 20th century to make things even more difficult for them and force them to take down their masts. Above, a bypass that links the airport to the capital. Below, boats from the Iliad and the Odyssey that finish their voyage pushed along by long poles. The fishers of sand can now go to bed, and another category of worker takes up the baton. With their shovels and their baskets, the unloaders will now shift the cargo. Machines? What machines? On the heads of these men, 50 to 60 kilos of wet sand that will be heaped up a short distance away. Like their colleagues, the divers, these men own nothing but their strength. The boats belong to owners, and this neighborhood at the water's edge, like each of the neighborhoods around the lagoon, has specialized. Over there, it's fish or wood, but here in Barriga, it's sand. Mountains of sand, gathered kilo by kilo, almost grain by grain, by men with weary lungs. And yet the owners are for the most part women. In Barriga, women run the economy, rent out the boats, the trucks, supervise the comings and the goings and the cargoes. Pauline started out in the business several years ago. She's a determined and ambitious company boss. If you want to make it in Nigeria, you can't hang around, says Pauline. I'm a woman who knows what she wants. Sand is a job like any other.
Hey, others load. I'm sharp. Load. Load, go, let's see.
This is where my sand is. This is my portion. Everybody has his own portion. This is my portion. So they bring it here and offload it here. This is a week for one boat. This is a week load. Every day they come, we pack it, they offload it here. So this is the quantity of 1 week. So you can see, but we have different, they normally bring us different texture. Some, they have so many skills in it, but some very few skill. But the engineers, they prefer the one that doesn't have that much skill. You have to go into the water, so that times, if there is any need for you to go into the boat to see if there is any problem. Climb.
How many boats you have, you, Pauline?
Yes, I have 2 boats. And my mom here too has 2 boats. We have people that have like 3, 4, 5 boats.
And for how long have you been working in that business?
Well, I've been into this business for the past 3 years now.
There are a lot of women involved in the sand business.
Yes, because they can manage the business properly than the men. And they know about the business than the men in some areas. And basically the work is for women. As you can see, because it doesn't take a lot of stress for the women. All they need to do is just sit down, watch the workers, then after they pay the workers. That's all. It's not that strenuous for the women to do.
And the workers, they accept to be ruled by a woman?
Yes, because there's money involved in it. So they don't mind. Whichever sex that is involved. If you agree on their price, no problem.
Once the unloading is completed, the men are paid at a set rate. So much for the boat. A little small change each day for food and lodging, the rest at the end of the week. The owner doesn't pay the sailors directly, or the porters, but works via their superior, the team boss, who takes his commission on the way. Then the bosses of each boat, who also take their share. It's a business that's highly organized, highly hierarchical.
So we are not paying for basket, we are paying for each boat like this. If they jack this boat, so it depends on distance. If you look at this one now, from here, this is the first distance, it's called distance. So it's distance by distance that we are paying the money. Can't believe by blood, you understand me now? So if it is here, we only pay 2,000 naira. You know it's a hard job, 2,000 naira. The other following step, 2005. It depends the distance. People carry you go up.
Yes, yes.
In Bariga, the men build mountains that they scale barefoot with the weight of a beef carcass on their heads. When the trucks haul it all away, they start again. It's God's will, they say. If God exists, he's not a just God, but that's not new. Unless you need to build a house in town. Because the sand from the lagoon will end up as blocks, rendering concrete for the many building sites, both little and large, in the capital. A miracle of nature. After the rainy season and the swollen rivers, the lagoon is barely salt, and the sand can be used as it is for construction work.
I don't think they realize how tough it is. They don't, because them is when they get to where they want to buy their material, the sand. But as soon as they are getting it, as far as they are getting it, they pay and buy and go to start building their houses. They don't know how stressful, how strenuous it is to get the sand.
With 25 million inhabitants and a massive and regular exodus from the countryside, Lagos is the second most densely populated city on the African continent. The thirst for raw materials is unquenchable. And in the cars that glide above the lagoon, they have other fish to fry than the working conditions of the fishermen in shorts down below. Back to Bariga, where every Monday morning, the various proprietors, managers, ship owners or bosses meet to discuss the price of sand. A meeting where decisions are taken, positions adopted, and a price set. However, they ask us to withdraw, not to film or attend the meeting. As with the board of a major corporation, secret decisions are made here that will affect the life of the community. We leave the tent for the village, where every street and every activity revolves around the economics of sand. On the horizon, in every direction, dunes, the bridge, and the women who watch.
The men, where are they?
Men, too lazy.
The men are lazy compared with the women. That's often true. But all the same, those who dive and those who carry don't expect money to fall from the sky. Some women in Bariga own around a dozen boats. The older ones, who started up more than 30 or 40 years ago when there was nothing on the site of the village but water, swamps and mosquitoes. That was even before the bridge. The very floor of the village was also brought in bucket by bucket, basket by basket. The arrival of woven plastic sacks from China was the death knell for canvas sails, heavier, more expensive. And in the backyards and the workshops, seamstresses became experts in the production and repairing of such sails. In Bariga, they also make the hulls for the boats, they carve the masts, they assemble the rudders, they re-weld and repair the buckets. Amid the dunes, between the village and the lagoon, the workers never stop. But as everywhere else in the world, their dreams keep them going.
And what is your future? What do you expect one day? To have other boats or?
To become a millionaire.
What are your dreams?
To become a millionaire.
So,
we have to take medication to thin our blood, because when you dive, it's cold and our muscles seize up. And you stay paralyzed at the bottom of the water. Every year, there are 3 or 4 who stay on the bottom. It's so hard. You can't possibly imagine.
We haven't returned just to feel a little more sorry over the fate of these men, because the story takes a new twist. At the very place where the sailboats left from the previous day, another group of boats arrives, belonging to another village. They decided a few years ago to be towed home by a powered boat. The boats attach themselves to each other with hooks and start the journey back home like a procession headed by a plume of smoke.
Here, we can't use manpower. That's why we get that tug.
Why can't you use manpower?
Manpower is not good. So people will tire too much. For that place, not every day, every time then they work. So because we are using tug here, that's why we are working every day. You see that tarpaulin that they are so breeze will be driving there for where they not like. So but this tug, so it will just come straight.
What's happening here is fascinating, because it's as if we were witnessing the Industrial Revolution live and the changes it forces upon us. Those from before with their sails, and those after with their engines. The story of the sand gatherers is an incredible précis of our history, because with the engine, the boats leave and return more quickly, and the owners have been able to grant a half day off as well, while increasing the work rate at the same time. The men of the lagoon fear they are at the heart of a possibly inexorable evolution. Today the tugs, tomorrow the dredgers, that will replace the manual labor, exhausting but providing a meager wage. A life-size production in the 21st century. The upheaval created by the arrival of machines. Almost everywhere in the world, working sailboats have disappeared. It was harsh, it was inhumane, but of an incredible beauty that we will never see again.